All right, so welcome to MVP training. We are going to be discussing change of direction and kind of what to look for and how to change some of their movement patterns when it comes to change direction. That's critical in every sport that we do, but athletes have to be coached to do it. Most of the time, they're not going to be natural at it. So it's important that we coach it. Well, some ways that we do that. An easy way to do and to get really knock two birds out with one stone, we are going to be covering almost a pro agility, okay? So what we do with teams to kind of teach that and to teach the shin angles and what to look for. First, let's cover a couple of things on what to look for in terms of where their positioning needs to be and how it's going to apply and how we drill that in and some drills to do to actually reinforce that good behavior. So the first thing that we're going to do is almost get them in a plant position, like we're going to plant and return from a pro agility. So Jake here is going to be my guinea pig again. So we're going to imagine that Jake is going to plant on this line right here, and we're going to be going back this way, okay? So he's came from this direction, he's going to change directions here. So what he wants to do is when he's approaching, he wants to be decelerating, sitting in a chair. He's going to sit in a chair and turn his hips. And as he turns his hips, he ought to be pointing, especially this inside leg, he ought to be pointing it in the direction that he's going, okay? So let's just give him like a half-speed view of this. So
this line.
Yeah, we're going to go to this line right here. Go. So as he turns, he's going to turn, touch, and go. So all he's going to do is kind of decelerate, sit in that invisible chair, and turn at the same time. And when he turns, all that weight needs to be on the inside leg. I've heard a lot of different coaches teach it a lot of different ways. The quickest is the crossover. Okay, it might not seem that way. And in fact, I taught a push off your outside leg, but it's not that way. So what you do is plant on that inside leg, reach with the outside leg, make that touch, and make sure that that shin angle is where it needs to be directed to that next direction. Okay? So what we're going to do, here's how we train. So we get our athletes, we're going to show you the front view of this. Go ahead and get on that side over there, Jake. What he's going to do, he's going to actually, we can start him out of this position, but if it's too complicated, we start him in a straight position because it's just easier for them to turn. They don't want to turn twice here. This is usually how we start. So we'll say go, and as they go, they're going to go and plant just like a pro agility drill, 5 yards away. We don't do 10 yet. And then we get him in that position. So go. He's going to sprint, decelerate, and then we're going to stop him right there. Okay? Sprint, decelerate, and stop. And go. So, all right, we get him to that position, and then we correct him. Because naturally, he started out like with his knees over his feet. Okay? His weight is almost transferred on the outside, and he's going to try to push off his outside, transfer his weight to his inside, and then cross over, which wastes time. So what he's going to do, we're going to get him back in that position, and then we're going to sit his behind down and get his ankles leaning. Get him leaning in the direction that he needs to go. And then we'll say go again, and then he'll decelerate on the opposite side. Go. And he'll stick right there. Good. All right? So a couple of things to look for if we want to get really specific with this and really teaching the pro shuttle is our foot positioning when we get into it. We almost want to be, if he's in the position like he was right here, then that's a problem because he's going to have to step over his foot like a hurdle in order to run straight. And 9 times out of 10, they're not going to run straight. They're going to step here first and then maybe correct it or not correct it at all. Waste time. The shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. So we want to use this as a position as he wants to bring in his right foot a little bit ahead of his left. If I'm planting on my right, okay, if I'm touching with my right hand, Okay, that way when he does turn and cross over, he's in a balanced position to run that straight line. Okay? So that's how we train it. So let's see what it would look like to this side. Go. All right, good.
I did it backwards again.
Yeah, we have that with athletes all the time. So now all we do is correct them. Okay, if you don't correct it, it's a bad behavior that we actually coach into them. So make sure that they're in that position. And I've seen athletes really wide here. Not a good thing either. All right. Shin angle, we correct the shin angle, we corrected the foot. Go.
There we go.
And then he corrected the feet again. So now he's getting into that habit. All right, stand up. That's where we start. We start with 5 yards. We don't start with 10. I've seen a lot of coaches start at 10. Okay? Now, the next step in this drill is to touch and go. Okay? We're looking for those same angles with the shins, but he's going to touch and go right here. Okay? Go. Good. Touch, go, crossover. All right? We're looking for those shin angles. And then we turn it all into 10 yards. Now we go into 10 yards. So after he goes to 10 yards, we're going to go through the same drill. He's going to decelerate, and we're going to stop him right there. We're not going to, because it's a lot different at 10 than it is at 5. We're going to stop him right there, correct him, and then tell him to go. Okay, so they know what to look for. They know how to feel. They have that. They start to get to learn their body lean and where they should be and how they should decelerate. This should help with change of direction drills so that we get that pro agility faster, so they change directions naturally very quickly, but it has to be coached. Change of direction is critical in athletic development.